Alright guys, we're going to go over the new lens blur effect in Lightroom CC, and this is in early access, so obviously it's not going to be perfect, but it's still a pretty cool effect. What it pretty much allows you to do is add fake blur to the backgrounds of your photos. Now this is something I used to do back in the day when I first started getting into photography. You know, I didn't have the best cameras and lenses, and since I didn't have the fastest lenses, you know, to get that, you know, blurry bokeh background, I was just faking in Photoshop, and now you can just do it that easily with one click using Lightroom. So let me show it to you guys. So right here in Lightroom, I got a couple of pictures. I'm going to show you guys how this effect works. Right here, we're shooting at 28mm f13 in the city. This isn't the best image, but it's a good way to show you guys what you can do with this. So as you can see right here, everything is in focus. And if we go to develop page and then go right here to where it says lens blur, you can click apply on here, and it will use the AI in order to find the depth of the whole image. So right here, it actually normally does it like this, where you can see that the background is blurred now, and it doesn't do a perfect job, but it does a decent job. Just like with the smartphones, where, you know, it struggles a little bit to get with the hair. As you can see, the hair is not perfectly cut out. Like, this part is fine, but this part looks horrible. You know, if you zoom out, it looks fine, but when you zoom in, you can really see the flaws with the software. And it's the same with if you use an iPhone or anything. So now let's show you guys some of the cool features with this thing. So normally you'll get an image like this where the background is blurred, but the foreground is not blurred. Now if this was a naturally done image where we actually had a real bokeh, only the subject will be in focus while the foreground and the background will be blurred. But here, as you can see, we have a depth map in order to like figure out where you want the focus to be. So we can adjust this right here, and we can actually have it so that it automatically does it, or you can click on this point right here, and you can just click on our face, and this will set the focusing point right here on our face. So this will actually blur the foreground a little bit. So as you can see right here, the foreground is blurred. If we uncheck it right here, you can see how it does that, and that gives it a pretty realistic effect right here, where it goes from, you know, the foreground is blurry and then the background itself is also blurry, but only the subject is in focus. And you can adjust this however you want right here. So you can make it so that only her face is blurred and everything else is not blurred. Here, actually, let's increase the blur amount, and you can really see how it affects it. And you can also, if you see that there's parts of it that didn't focus or blur properly, you can just go into the focus and blur tabs right over here, and you can go in and manually change these settings. So it's a pretty cool effect. There's one more thing you can do with this, is that, let's say you have a picture like this, very cool, you know, you want the subject to stand out a little bit more than the background. Then you can click apply as usual. There we go, and then we can adjust the blur amount. Let's just go high. Let's do 80%, 75%, and it's gonna add a blur, and now you can actually change what the bokeh looks like. So I have it set to ring right now. It has this donut effect on it. So you can set it to just like a circle right here. There you go, it changes to a regular circle. And it's good, it did a pretty good job on it, but the hair still looks a little rough. These AI features really struggle with hair, as you can see. But the cool thing is you can change what the bokeh looks like. We can make it a hexagon. And this feature I tried a lot with a lot of different stuff, and it seems to only really work if you're creating the bokeh from scratch. And what I mean by that is that if the background already has bokeh balls, it doesn't really work that well. But if it has like light sources that are not bokefied, then for those images actually works pretty well. Like right here, like there's no bokeh like that here. When you apply it, as you can see, it creates its own fake bokeh balls, and in those scenarios it works really well. So we go to an image like this also. As you can see, I applied the bokeh balls, and this is what the image looks like. But if we remove the bokeh balls, so we turn it off, as you can see, it works pretty well for an image like this. You just have to blur it a lot to change it, but the ones that are already established, like right over here, these ones don't change, but the ones that the image created, those ones change. Like even here, like these ones change a little bit, but only because I put it up a lot. If you like keep it at like a 40 or something, it doesn't work that well. But if you go like really high, then it starts to blur them, and then you get different shaped bokeh balls. I wish you could change the bokeh balls that you already have. That would be a really cool feature. That way you could like take an image and then you don't like how the bokeh balls are shaped, because depending on what kind of lens you use, even like cheaper lenses, like a cheaper 1.8 lens versus a super expensive 1.8 lens, the bokeh balls will usually be more circular on those, while the cheaper one you'll get like a lemon shape effect and stuff. So if we could change those ones, that would have been really cool. So it's a cool effect. I don't think for professional photographers it's that useful, especially since the hairs always get messed up. You know, you can see it just looks like a cutout, and because of that reason, I personally would never use this. You know, yeah, the hair just like, well, her face is not in focus here, but let me just change it. So yeah, I mean, in some scenarios maybe it would be useful, but I wish it did the hair better. But if you're just starting out and you don't have any fast lenses or anything in those scenarios, this will be a pretty cool filter that you can use. Or if you're taking pictures with your phone and you want to get that bokeh effect, even though the iPhone can do it, maybe you have an older phone that can't do it. In those scenarios, it might be cool. But besides that, it's fine. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.